Welcome to the Socialites Podcast. Have you ever thought about how weird fashion rules can be?
Like, when did we all decide pink was for girls and blue was for boys?
Right. And get this, throughout history, clothes have totally flipped genders. What was once considered masculine ended up becoming feminine and vice versa.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. So let's take a deep dive into some of the most surprising fashion role reversals in history.
Okay, sounds fun.
All right. So first up, makeup.
Ah, yes, makeup.
We think of it as a primarily female thing today, right?
For sure.
But in ancient Egypt and even early Europe, men were totally rocking the eyeliner and rouge.
It's true. Like, seriously.
It was all about status and protection, believe it or not.
For example, Egyptian men wore kohl around their eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's that dark black eyeliner.
Okay.
They wore it not just for aesthetics.
Right, to look good.
Exactly, but also to ward off evil spirits and protect their skin from that super strong desert sun.
Oh, wow. So practical and stylish. I love that. But then over time, makeup became way more associated with, like, femininity and beauty standards specifically for women.
Yeah, sadly.
And speaking of gender norms, how about this one? Pink used to be for boys and blue for girls.
I know, it's mind-blowing, right?
It's so crazy.
Like, back then, the thinking was that pink, being a shade of red, was seen as, like, stronger and more assertive,
Well,
suitable for boys.
wow.
And blue, on the other hand, was perceived as, like, delicate and dainty.
More fitting for girls.
Exactly.
But then what happened?
Well, the fashion industry did a complete 180 in the mid-20th century.
Oh, wow.
Totally flipped the script.
So now it's completely reversed.
Yep, pink is marketed heavily towards girls and blue towards boys.
Okay, get ready for this one because this one's seriously mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
High heels.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a staple of women's fashion, those sky-high shoes were originally designed for men.
That's right. Can you imagine, like, a king rocking stilettos?
Whoa.
Talk about a power move. High heels were actually worn by, like, horseback riding soldiers in the 16th and 17th centuries. Well, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, the heel helped them secure their feet in the stirrups.
Oh, okay.
But they also became like a fashion statement among upper-class men.
Huh.
But over the centuries, high heels gradually transitioned into a predominantly female fashion item, you know?
So weird.
I know, right?
Okay, let's talk about tattoos.
Okay, I love this one.
Today, they're often associated with self-expression rebellion.
Yeah, or even belonging to certain groups.
Exactly.
But back in ancient civilizations and even up until the 18th century, tattoos were a mark of high status.
What? No way.
Yeah, tattoos were worn by like aristocrats and elites as symbols of their rank and lineage.
So they were, like, showing off.
Totally. For instance, in ancient Rome, soldiers would get tattoos to display their allegiance to their legion.
Wow. So tattoos went from being a symbol of the elite to basically the opposite in some cases.
It's true, they became associated with like marginalized groups like sailors and prisoners,
Yeah.
and their social significance totally shifted.
Wild.
Isn't that interesting?
Okay, last but not least, let's talk about corsets.
We might picture Victorian women tightly laced into these garments.
Right.
But did you know men used to wear corsets too?
It's true. In the 16th and 17th centuries, men wore corsets to achieve a slim waist and an upright posture.
So basically the male version of a power suit.
Exactly. It was considered, like, fashionable and a sign of refinement.
Wow. But as fashion trends evolved, corsets became solely associated with women's attire.
Yep, emphasizing their curves and achieving, like, a desired silhouette.
And we can't forget the ultimate fashion flip. Skirts.
Ah, yes, skirts.
We think of them as like quintessentially feminine today.
Totally.
But in ancient cultures, men were the ones sporting flowing robes and tunics.
Think Roman togas and Greek chitons.
I love those.
Skirts were, like, perfectly acceptable, even expected attire for men back then.
Wow.
However, as gender norms and fashion trends shifted, pants became associated with, like, masculinity and practicality.
And skirts were relegated to women's wardrobes.
Pretty much.
It's amazing how much our perception of what's considered masculine or feminine has shifted over the centuries.
Totally. Makes you wonder what will change next.
Right. What fashion items we see as gender-specific today might be completely flipped in the future. What do you think?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Head over to the comments and let us know. And don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with your friends. We'll see you next time on the Socialites Podcast.
Bye, everyone.